Hey, hi everyone. My name is Yash, and today I welcome you back to my YouTube channel, Crazy Cloud. This is the fourth video of LWC learning series, and in this video, we'll learn about the data binding in HTML. So, data binding is basically fetching the data of backend and bring it to the front end, and fetching the data from front end and bring it to the backend. So, this data communication, or let's say the data fetching part, is known as the data binding process. Correct, to fetch some variables of JavaScript into our HTML code. This is data binding. So suppose we have created a variable in our JavaScript file which is name, correct? So name variable we need to use into HTML part. So this is data binding. So today what we'll do is we'll create we'll create an input box and a button. In this input box, user can give any input, anything. User can type anything, and on to click of this button, we need to fetch that input. Correct. So this is our task for today. So first, let's see how can we how can we use the variables or the functions which are there into our JavaScript file into our HTML code. So let's create a variable of name into our JavaScript file. Now, what I have done is I've just created a variable, a normal variable of name, and given this the value to Yash. Now I want this variable to be present in HTML. So instead of this hello trailblazer, what I'll do, hello name. But again, the output would be hello name. But what we want, the output should be hello Yash because the value of name is Yash. So to bind the variable of JavaScript into our HTML, we need to use this curly braces, correct? And inside this curly braces, we can give the variable name just like this, hello. And in curly braces, we have the name. The name is the property of JavaScript, correct? So now the output would be hello Yash. So let's deploy this component and see what is the output. So if you declare any variable into your JavaScript, or let's say any function, the data binding is the same, right? Like if you want to fetch any function onto your HTML part, again you need to use the curly braces only. So let's refresh this page. Let's hard refresh this. It takes some time basically. See, the output is hello Yash. And if I change the value of this Yash to crazy cloud, the output would be hello crazy cloud. Just refresh this. See, the output is hello crazy cloud. So this is called the data binding, correct? Now what we want, I need to give an input box to a user so that user can give his input or her input, correct? So let's say I'm creating a lightning input. Basically, lightning input is a tag using which we can provide an input box to the user. And lightning input accepts some what say some parameters or parameters. So some of the parameters are placeholder, placeholder, let's say enter something, and to capture the text which user is entering, we need there is an attribute in lightning input which is on change, on change, In on change, we'll use a JavaScript method here, correct? And let's let it be. Okay. So now what we have done is we have created a lightning input box. We just created this input box, nothing else. This input box. And to capture the data which user is typing or user is giving to this input box, we have an attribute of on change. On change basically is used to uh, call the JavaScript, or let's say used to capture the text, correct? And into this on change we'll use a JavaScript method. Let's see, handle change. This handle change will be a method. JavaScript, this way we create the method. Let's see, let me create everything first. Event. Don't worry, guys, I'll tell you everything. Let me write first. Show what's the name. Let's deploy this. Okay, let me tell you one thing. What we have done till now is we just created a lighting input box, nothing else. We just created a lighting input box and one button. Into the lighting input box, whatever the user will give, whatever input user will provide, we will capture that text using on change attribute, correct? Because the value of this input box is constantly changing, that's why it is known as on change. And on to click of this button, we will fetch the data which is inside this input box. So onto the lightning button we do have an attribute of on click, and onto the lightning input box we have an attribute of on change. So see, lightning input placeholder is nothing, it is just a normal text into the input box. On change will be calling this handle change, and on click of this button will call this handle click. Onto the handle change method, this is a method in JavaScript, correct? And this is the method of in JavaScript, that's why we are using this curly braces here, correct? So in handle change we do have some events. So using events we fetch the data from front end into our backend. So name is just a property of JavaScript, just a normal variable, nothing else. In this variable, we'll store the name of whatever user is giving to this input box. So what is this dot? So whenever you will create a global variable into our JavaScript file, that variable should be used as this dot variable name, correct? So this dot name equals to event dot detail dot value. So this is the way we fetch the data from input boxes, correct? This is the way we fetch the data from the input boxes. Now on to click of this handle click, on to click of that button, this handle click method will get called, and we have another variable which is name to show. So we are just providing the value of name to show, correct? And name to show will use onto the front end. If you have any confusion regarding this, you can ping in, ping me onto the LinkedIn or anywhere. Name to show, correct? Let's deploy this code here and refresh this. Or let's say, let's debug whatever we are getting into this event.detail.value. So to print the values into your console, you need to use console.log and the value event.detail.value. And let's say log button and again deploy this source to org. Guys, please let me know in the comment section if you have any doubt. To open this console, I hope everybody knows how to open this console. Just right click on your screen and then inspect. Or you can use Control plus Shift plus I. Then go to this console tab. See what we have here. First, we are getting this hello text. Why hello text? Because we have hard coded this hello text over into our HTML code. And this name to show is, so currently name to show is nothing, right? There's no value in this name to show. That's why it is null here. And then we are having a lightning input and lightning button. Lightning input and lightning button. So now whatever user will input into this lightning input, we will capture the data. As soon as user types something, we'll capture the data. As soon as user types something, we'll capture the data. Using this on change, handle change will get called and we'll have our data into this event.detail.value. So let's type y. You see, you can note down here that, see, we have y. Then if I type a, we have y, because into our JavaScript file I have put it down some logs, correct? So now event.detail.value is ya. If I type s, now event.detail.value is yas. If I type h, now event.detail.value is yash, correct? In console we can see here. If I remove h, the value is yas. If I remove s, the value is ya. So let's type again Yash. And why this Yash is not here? Hello Yash. Because Yash will get appear when name to show will have some values, right? And when name to show will have the values, when we click this button, when we will click this button. So let's click this button and see this handle button click will get printed. Let's click this button and see button click is there. And you see hello Yash. Why? Because whenever user was typing something, the complete text was getting stored in this dot name, and when we clicked the button, the value of name to show was name, this dot name, like the, this is just a value transferring, or let's say value cloning, right? We are just providing some values to this name to show. So this dot name equals to this dot name. So always remember that the variable value gets moves towards left, right to left, right? So right to left. So this value will get stored in this, correct? Or let's say type Yash Sethi, like hello Yash Sethi. If you remove this and will click here, it will get null. Correct? Let's type crazy cloud here. Hello crazy cloud. So this is how data binding works in LWC. LWC do not support two-way binding. Two-way means HTML to JavaScript and JavaScript to HTML. But how we can fetch data from HTML to JavaScript using some events, correct? And how to use JavaScript variables into our HTML code by using the curly braces. Using curly braces, you can use any variable or any method, correct? In lightning input we have many attributes, and in lightning button also we have many attributes. So let's see how many attributes are there in lightning button. Go to the lightning button documentation, and here you can see we have these types of button, correct? When I wrote the variant as brand, the brand variant is this, the blue background and white text. If I write down destructive here into the brand instead of this brand, the button will get red, correct? So these are the attributes which lightning button accepts. You can see here lightning button has variant, label, title, on click, class. You can use any class here. In the last video we saw that how to use the SLDS classes. If you want one separate video on this SLDS, I can create it. You can ping me on LinkedIn, or you can ask me onto the comment section. So this is how you can use lightning buttons. And if you go to lightning input, click onto this document and see how many ways you can use this lightning input. See, lightning input, enter some text, a text input with field with initial values, everything we have, correct? You can go through these documents. I'll provide the link in the description. So this is how LWC data binding works. So let's recall this video again. So data binding in LWC is only one way. If you want to make it two-way, we have to use the events. So by default, we can use the backend to front-end data binding. But if you want to use the HTML values into our JavaScript code, we have to use the events, correct? Now, and one more thing, if you want to use JavaScript variable or JavaScript methods into your HTML file, you need to use the curly braces. And always remember, JavaScript is case sensitive. If this C is capital, you need to write C capital here, correct? Let's deploy again. Okay, so this was it guys for this video. If you have any doubt regarding the data binding, you can comment down your thoughts or any question into the comment section below. And if you want any other videos related to this lightning input or lightning button or SLDS classes, you can ping me on LinkedIn, or you can comment down below this video. So until then, bye and keep practicing guys. Again, create this lightning input and button, right? So see you in the next video.